Welcome to Diving Deep. I'm your host, Crystal, and this is a place where we talk all things spirituality, self-help, and taboo. A safe space to have deeper, meaningful conversations and explore the nuances of life. Diving Deep welcomes everyone. Perfection isn't what is expected. Instead, what's valued here is the honoring of our truths, the deconstruction of social norms that don't serve our greatest good, and making changes to live a truly happy and authentic life. Now, if you're looking for a deep but keep it real type shit podcast, you've come to the right place. Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode on Diving Deep. Your favorite podcast is my hope, anyway, for one day. By the way, I have a sleeping 9-year-old and a baby as well. Somebody, well, the 9-year-old may come barging in. I didn't want to wake her up, but hopefully she doesn't wake up until I'm done with this, but you never know. So anyway, that being said, welcome back. I just got back from a trip to Idaho. We got back on Monday night, and I went to go pick up my 9-year-old, and Idaho is kind of like our halfway meeting point. My ex-husband lives in North Dakota, and I live here, and I have family in Idaho, so it kind of works out because I get to, kill two birds with one stone. I get to see them, and I get to see, my son as well, like other than my siblings, and we usually, hang out together and whatnot, so I'm very exhausted. It was, for some reason, this time it was very overstimulating, but I think it's probably because I have a newborn and we have been going through it. I've been in the motherhood trenches, and then we have a shit ton of kids between all of us. So we were at my sister's apartment and everybody was just talking, all the kids and everything, and I was like, oh my Lord, this is wild. This is a lot. I feel very blessed, but I definitely, it had something to do with being sleep deprived and functioning from that place. But I was still very happy to see everybody, but I definitely felt very exhausted. And when we got back, I was like, wow, that was a lot, but it was still nice seeing everybody. Definitely, I think something has to change when it comes to visiting, because it's always like, we get there and we do a couple things and then we rush back home. So the next time we go in August, the plan is to go for a week, to have a week to basically all hang out and not like rush to do this or to do that, or because like sometimes that's the stress. It's like, hey, we're supposed to be here and it's already 12 p.m. and we only have a few hours to do this. And fun fact, I have a couple of sisters that aren't very timely. Sorry guys, but it's the truth. And I'm not the most timely. That's the crazy part. I'm usually like not very. So this just gives you a picture of how even more less on time. It's like, oh my goodness, trying to wrangle everybody. It's a whole mission itself. So really looking forward to August and just taking it more woosah and having time to like see other people as well, because I love seeing my family, of course, and they are the priority. But I have a few friends over there that it's just I almost never get to see, and I would like to see here and there. So that's my little story. We had a good time. I went to the bar. We went to the canyon. The kids had fun. It was great. And now we're back home in our little quiet, whatever you want to call it, hermit crab show. All right. Well, today we're going to be talking about boundaries and a recent conversation with someone kind of sparked my interest, and it had to do all about boundaries. And the funny thing about boundaries, sometimes we don't know, like it's easy to say or easy to tell somebody, hey, you need to have boundaries. You hear boundaries, you're like, oh no, like I'm good, la la la. But at the end of the day, it's like sometimes people don't even know that they need boundaries because they think that what they're doing is good, or they don't think they're doing anything wrong, which they technically don't have to be doing anything wrong. They could be really, really good people, and sometimes that's a misconception that, oh well, I'm nice, I'm being kind, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but that's especially like the type of people that need the boundaries the most, is people that are people pleasers, or that have very strong like wounds regarding being loved, and maybe like an anxious, preoccupied person if you are into attachment styles. Yeah, these people tend to be really good people, but they end up boundaryless and end up in very unhappy situations because their boundaries are non-existent. So therefore, we are talking about that today, and I hope I get through this before my baby crying. I know I keep saying that every episode, but it's the reality. I really hope I get through this episode. All right, so here we go. We have set boundaries. Oh, by the way, this is out of my ebook, Manifest an Aligned Relationship. También está disponible en español. Es completamente gratis, nomás lo bajas a tu celular. So, bienvenido a descargarlo, and welcome everybody to download it for free. It's for free. So, here's a little section from that. This section is called Set Boundaries. Strengthen your ability to set and maintain boundaries for your highest good rather than out of spite or isolation. Be firm with your yes and no's. Okay. And identify personal limits and communicating them clearly. If you're not used to setting boundaries or normally a people pleaser, start with the little things, or even something like, can you give me time to think about this? To a person that doesn't understand sometimes that saying no is actually okay. Like, it's okay to say no, and you don't have to feel bad. There's a lot of us that have struggled or do struggle with even saying no because they feel bad. They feel like they owe it to that person, or they feel like it's mean, even at their own cost of their energy, mental space, etc., at their own cost. And that is a big red flag, guys. We don't want to do that. We don't want to sacrifice ourselves to the point of exhaustion, bitterness, frustration, disappointment. It's not a job, and we can communicate clearly without feeling remorse. It is our right. Remember that. All right, over time, it will get easier to identify boundaries you'd like to set, and also easier to communicate them. This is true. Starting out is rough, and starting out, you're probably going to set up some wonky boundaries that don't make sense. But the more you do it and the more you feel in control of your decisions, it'll be easier, and you'll be able to, trust me, like automatically notice which ones are like, wait a minute, why did I do that? Versus, oh, this one actually feels good. Like, I'm starting to feel better. Go with that. Your gut will know. Trust me. Trust me on this. Don't trust me on everything, but trust me on this. Be aware that oftentimes other people will retaliate when you set a new boundary, as they are used to an older version of you. What? Raise your hand if you've told somebody no, or if you recently stepped into your power and you started to change how you show up, or set some boundaries on people accessing your energy. I've had that happen too. And it can get really ugly, even like, especially within family members. When you start acting different or you start speaking your truth, people can like really get triggered big time. And it's because you're creating this ripple and this dynamic that you guys have had for however many years. I'm 35, so you can imagine, like, these dynamics are real. They may be energetic, but they're fucking real. And when something shifts, it causes the foundation of that whole thing, like, whoa, like, well, who do you think you are? Or you think you're this and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. And it's common, but that's not to scare you away from, doing your boundaries, because it is so important to your well-being, to your mental state of mind, and your happiness. Like, your happiness is your own. Nobody can make you happy except yourself. So at the end of the day, you will ruffle some feathers and be be calm in knowing that it's for your own good. And over time, trust me, and not always, to be honest, not always. Some people never talk to their family members again, and that's a sad reality. But honestly, in my opinion, I would rather have a fallout with people that can't respect my boundaries or my energy and love me and respect me and whatnot. I'd rather deal with like the loss of that than have this life that I hate. And feeling used or feeling like I'm not respected or loved or seen and heard and all this stuff. So I take that over the losing people any day, and doesn't mean it's easy, okay? But I would choose me, period. When there is a change involved, especially in close relationships, it makes others nervous of the shift, energetically speaking, and they may feel offended, hurt, or angry. Okay, this is what I just explained. Say no without guilt and honor your needs. A healthy relationship allows a space for your boundaries to feel safe, seen, heard, and respected. Again, when you honor your needs and boundaries, it strengthens your relationship to self and gives your partner the chance to step up and grow with you. Okay, so specifically relating to having a partner, it gives them the opportunity. It doesn't automatically mean that they're going to step up and respect your boundaries or recognize them or think that they're reasonable, if you will. Especially if they haven't done any type of work, it's going to be more than likely that they will rebuttal your boundaries or your reasons for boundaries. They're probably going to ask you why, or maybe say something along the lines like, you don't love me if this, or you don't need to do that, you're with me, or whatever excuses, right? And maybe look down on you because you are, how do I say this? Reeling in your energy and not over giving or, being available in the way that they want. But that is detrimental to you. And so, again, this gives them an opportunity like, hey, I feel like this and I would like this. Or every so often, I need to have a me day and I know I'm always at your beck and call. But on Tuesdays, I would like to have a day to myself. Or let's see, what other be a boundary? And let's see. I can't think of any right now, but like let's say you have family over and let's say your boundary is like for him not to like or for them not to like intervene in family things, or I don't know, whatever the boundary is to make yourself feel like safer or things to be more cordial, respectful, whatever it is, right? Insert your boundary there. And so and they have the opportunity to be able to be like, you know what, I respect that. You do deserve that. And I will give that to you. Or they will, fight you on it. And over time, you will see if that is a non-negotiable, if that boundary surrounds something that is a non-negotiable for you or that's super important, that matters. And you can take that into consideration as far as what all they do not respect or accept. And ultimately, it's either step up or step off. How would you say it? Step up or step out. There we go. Either they step up or you step out, vice versa, whatever. Again, the goal is not to end a relationship willy-nilly. No. And if you know me, you know that I'm endorser of check yourself first too. Because sometimes we may think that we bring things up like rationally, but sometimes things come out of emotion or out of triggers like, oh, I feel scared that he might cheat on me. So he's just not allowed to leave the house. So that's my boundary. And he should accept that because he, if he loves me, he doesn't need to be going outside. I know that sounds crazy, but that's an example. And honestly, some new boundaries could sound somewhere along the lines of that. And so this is where I come in and tell you, like, any boundary, anything you bring up to your partner, journal on it, talk to somebody about it. And I don't mean your toxica friends at all, whatever, or your, you know what I mean? Like, talk to somebody sane, somebody that's level headed, somebody that's not gonna push you to do bad decisions or bad advice. So that could be like an old teacher, it could be your therapist, it could be like your abuela, it could be a book, your favorite podcasters that are really into self-help and whatnot. Like, ultimately it's your decision and what feels right in your body. So tune into that as well. Like, that is super important. What feels right for you? You will know what it feels like. If it feels icky saying that, or if you're like, you're feeling like, oh, I need to hold on to this. So this is why I got to create this boundary. That's not a good place. Versus like, you know what? I deserve this. Like, this and this and that. That's a good place to come from a boundary. But yeah, as always, check yourself. Make sure that you're coming from a right place and it's not for the wrong reasons. All right, next one. Recognize when boundaries are being crossed and asserting yourself. When your nervous system is activated, it might feel like you messed up or want to make it all better, but if your partner is not handling a boundary well, that is not the time to act on it. So I'm kind of piggybacking off how they would react, right? And sometimes when you are a people pleaser or overgiver, or an anxious, preoccupied attachment style, maybe even fearful avoidant a little bit sometimes, you might want to like, okay, let's say, hey, I would like if this and this and that. And then they get angry or they start like giving you the silent treatment or whatever, then you start kind of like back paddling, be like, oh, like, you know what, maybe it's not so important. Or maybe, I'm sorry I said that. Like, are you okay? Do you need something? Let's go out to eat. Let's, whatever. All this energy of like, let me fix it and let me make it all better. Like, I'm sorry I did that. I take it back. Or, how about this? Or, like, that is not the energy we want. Okay, if you feel like you messed up or you feel like you're nervous about your partner, how they receive it, I would recommend maybe just going to go on a walk, like move your body. That's really nervous energy. So maybe take a cold shower, sauna, whatever you have available to you, and lovingly excuse yourself or give them their space if they're being that way, and just let some of that out, because it's going to feel a little wild when you first start putting your boundaries, because you feel like you're doing something wrong, and that's just that's just basically a sign that your nervous system is obviously shifting and you haven't experienced you're experiencing your person or whoever, how they're reacting to it, but it is not on you. You deserve to have your boundaries and have your boundaries respected. So whatever you feel like you need to do some jumping jacks, go scream in a pillow, or go for a walk, walk outside if possible. Get some of that out and then calm your energy so you can be strong enough to maintain that boundary. So that's what I recommend. Boundaries should be identified and communicated when not triggered or arguing. Again, yes, especially if you're new at this, you can say some fuck shit boundary, and that's not what we want. We want good boundaries. We want boundaries that are going to help the relationship. And it may not feel sometimes at the beginning because, again, there's that shift. But over time, these boundaries should contribute to a happier dynamic, to being happier, you being in your joy and feeling respected, and vice versa. When you set these boundaries from a grounded place, you can feel more assured and more likely to uphold them when obstacles arise. Respect your partner's boundaries and expecting the same. It goes without saying, but sometimes setting boundaries is easier than being on the receiving end. True. And we're not the only ones that should or will make boundaries. your partner, your family, everybody's entitled to have their boundaries. And I think a lot of people may think that boundaries make you apart from people. And when you've done enough of this work, you understand that it's actually the opposite. The more you work on your boundaries and strengthen them, and more you practice them and set them with people you love, people you want to maintain contact with. Because in reality, if you don't want anything to do with somebody, you don't have to really do boundaries other than you're not talking. Boundaries are meant so, hey, I feel like this when you do this, so I would appreciate it if you do this, or you respect me in this way. Or sometimes when I feel triggered, I need a little bit of space. Just give me 5-10 minutes, and I need that in order to regulate. Can you give me that? Things like that. So as you can see, these are not crazy asks. These are things that'll help you with your energy and your bubble and be in a more zen, peaceful state of mind and being. And when two people have their boundaries, all right, I can see that you need this and this and that. Perfect, I can give you that. In return, do you mind if such and such and such? So instead of these people, like if two people, if it's you and a partner, it's like going back and forth and fighting, and it's just kind of like all over the place. Your energy's all over the place. It's harder versus you guys are like, understand, okay, she likes this. Okay. And then this is what she would like me to do in this circumstance. Okay, I can do that. There is so much more harmony between each other because now you're like, oh, okay, you're being more mindful about each other. And yes, it can be hard to hear somebody like, depending also on your attachment style, it could really set some alarms in you. Like, oh my God, like they don't love me, they don't want to talk to me, or this or that and that. Depending on what the boundary is, it could make a lot of things come up for you, and that's normal. But just always remember that they deserve a boundary, and it's always good to communicate why, because again, sometimes our boundaries when we first start come from our wounding, so sometimes they may not be adequate, so it'll be a dance at times, especially if you're just starting out. And just be open about that, like, hey, I feel like this and this and that, and this is what I need, but I'm not sure if that's because of this that I went through. But for now, could we try it and then go from there, see how it feels? And that's perfectly fine. All right, so understand your need for boundaries and try to see things from their side when they set theirs. Yeah, so pretty much, what we just said, and it's understanding that everybody's going to have their boundaries, not just us. And we also have to learn how to adjust to theirs, because again, when we're all functioning a certain type of way and something new comes into the relationship, the friendship, the familial dynamic, it's an adjusting process, and it's okay to feel triggered at times as long as you know that, hey, I feel triggered, but you're not going to act on it because you know that that's something that's good for them and good for you guys, your guys' relationship, right? So it's okay to get triggered. It's okay to feel sad or mad or confused. And you can always talk about these things. Or try to, because some people, yes, it is harder to talk to, but if they're working on doing boundaries, I'm pretty damn sure they'd probably be open to having some kind of conversation, because most people don't talk about boundaries. It's just kind of like you live your day by day and that's it. You don't really think about shit, right? But yeah, that was the last part of the section of set boundaries in my ebook, available, and it will be on my link tree. I will link it in the show notes as well. It's free. I think honestly, maybe I'm biased because I made it, but I think it's a very, very helpful little cheat sheet. And yeah, especially when you're new at this, even if you're not new at this, there's definitely going to be some golden nuggets. Yes, so that is the theme for the day. And don't forget to rate my show, again, my goal is to really grow this podcast by the end of the year, have some more handful of listeners. I definitely want to level this up and be consistent again now that we're in a somewhat okay place. While my baby might interrupt my sessions at times, I don't know, it hasn't quite happened yet. But the goal is to just keep talking about things that are important, things that are needed in this world. And thank you for anybody that's been along for the ride. And through my ups and downs these last few years, there's been a lot that's happened. It feels like, let's say I started 2023. So it's been 3.5 years almost. And it feels like I've been doing this for like 5 with as much things that have happened. Wow. Like whoever has been with me since the beginning, have witnessed such a change, such a, honestly, kind of like a full circle. If you listened from the beginning to the middle to now, it's like, oh, whoa, you definitely went on a ride together. But yeah, please rate the show. You can always comment on Spotify as well. You can comment your thoughts or your questions. I think I may do a few more sections of my ebook. Just depends how I'm feeling. Again, you guys know that I like these to be more intuitive. It's just kind of like what I'm feeling called to share, and not too scripted. So that's the way I like to do it. Maybe that's not the right way, the right way. But that's the way I feel most comfortable speaking. And I feel like I can just flow instead of, I guess, being for perfection or that it needs to be a certain way. I always come in with the intent, like, let what needs to be heard come out, and what I say reach the right people, and it'll come out how it comes out. And it's not gonna come out perfect sometimes, and that's okay. It's just the core of the message that really matters. So thank you for sticking with me today, and I hope you continue listening until the next time. Bye bye.